Good morning. It is 9 a.m. on a Friday morning, August 18th, 2023. And I'm going to use my little trick for checking audio. So here you see the screen is muted. I'm going to mute the audio from apps so that you don't hear it when I unmute this. So I should get it. Yeah. I got an audio confirmation, but you shouldn't have heard that. Yeah, okay. I like that. I think I can do that regular like. Doug, what are you going to talk about? Oh, I got an email from me, from one of the other Dougs, from Yesterday Doug. I think there's a song called Yesterday Doug, isn't there? Here's my watch going down on the table. There was a comment from Lawn Dog in chat room. My next question is, when you have a Windows operating system and you boot using a USB device to a live Linux operating system, when the Linux is running, you know you have a choice to install the Linux permanently. How that is handled, or maybe how is that handled when you have Windows and UEFI partition? That's the question. Yes, I think it's how is that handled? I would suspect that basically if you're telling Linux to install on top of that Windows partition, then you're deleting the Windows partition in place of Linux. If you're telling Linux to install on some other available area on the hard disk, then you're getting some kind of a dual boot opportunity. And I haven't been down that road. I'm just speculating. Isn't that what it would be? And he's specifically asking how this interacts with the UEFI partition. Well, I would assume when you do a Linux installation, it finds the EFI partition, because the EFI boot partition is not specific to Windows. It's specific to your UEFI BIOS. There I go again with that. Because that's a computer thing. It's not a Windows or a Linux thing. EFI partition is what tells your computer where to boot for whatever operating system is on your boot partition. So when you install Linux, I assume that it goes and modifies the EFI partition to say, hey, I'm here, use me, either instead of that other operating system or as an alternative, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, maybe that'll generate some other comments in chat to clarify that. From Greg M., I wonder if 300 gigabits is 300 gigabytes. And that would be in reference to the question that came up in channel comments. It was in relation to the Comcast speed video, saying that he gets a measurement over gigabit speed. I think it was like 1400 kilobits for his speed test. But then after doing 300 gigabits or gigabytes of utilization, of usage, then he seems to get throttled. And that's a good point, Greg, because he might have been confusing bytes with bits. And since it's 8 bits to a byte, it's easy enough to just say, oh, let's just call it a factor of 10. 3 gigabits is somewhere in the vicinity of 300 gigabytes. No, it's not. That's more gigabytes. Let's say it's 8. So 2.4 gigabits. That would translate to, right? 3 times 8, 24. Yeah, I think I got that right. Doug, don't do math when the camera's on. You're not good at that. Ran Israel, you can map a drive letter to the ESP partition. That's a EFI something partition using disk part. That's interesting. So then you could actually see the file structure there. I haven't tried it, but that was an interesting comment. I thought it was worth pointing out and highlighting. So hang on a moment. All right, and I've got chat room over here too, so I can see the most recent comments there. And then next on channel comments, and then I'll get to the chat room, I think, after that. Dennis says, in reference to the 30-minute mark on yesterday's video, typical gamer allows redirects from anyone. He hasn't noticed me yet. Oh, look at that. I'm signed out of YouTube. What's that? What's up with that? It just signed me out randomly during a live stream. Ay, caramba. Oh, wait a minute, there's a bunch. Oh, this took me to my personal channel when I sign in. So now I got to switch to my Live Windows Training-DougBetts channel. There's a lot of comments there on my personal channel. I guess I ought to go look at that. Yeah, so Dennis is saying, typical gamer allows redirects from anyone he hasn't noticed me yet. So the reason he doesn't show up when I go look at redirects is because Live Windows Training is not subscribed to Typical Gamer. I think I'm subscribed to him on my Fortnite channel. Look here, I'm signed out here of YouTube Studio as well. And anytime I go to another tab, it's going to say I'm signed out. All right, so let's go ahead and look at redirects. So yeah, I don't see him on redirect when I go look at redirects for this channel because I'm not subscribed to him on this channel. And I wouldn't be sending people from this show to a gamer's show that is not part of our community. Now, since today's is Friday, I'll be redirecting to Carrie Holzman, but I see there's Ken Stout has a daily Da Vinci, so we're going to put a link for him into chat. I'll save that redirect to Carrie's show, then come over here and bring up Ken's show. He might have already put it into chat for all I know. And I'll Control-C to copy that, and then come to chat, and then do, what is it? Oh, Ken's show. Da Vinci. Hopefully that'll let Greg Guy know that the show is going on so he doesn't miss it. And it's at 9:35. So, and it is a live show, not a premiere, right? David Da Vinci will sort of not actually close. Live, notify me. This doesn't. Can stop live, subscribe. Another Da Vinci that is not Da Vinci. I thought it says live here when it's going to be a live show. No, I got to finish that. Yeah, it's live because of the word live at the end of that link. So that means it's alive. Yeah, and Dennis says it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. Error. Oh, there's an error on my show. Well, this is fun. Not. So let's try refreshing that. And then did I lose the old chat messages? Nope, I still have 1143 from Jeff Ryman yesterday. Going back to channel comments. So, thumbs up and heart. Old Nuke, which is Jeff Ryman. I have performed a BIOS update in the past in which UEFI firmware was also updated, e.g. the code to run hardware diagnostics. This portion is not lost when the battery dies, but obviously can be overwritten. Well, I think UEFI firmware is more than just running hardware diagnostics. I think that's the whole, everything we get in the UEFI settings screen, except for the stuff that is stored in volatile memory, such as the date and time, because that's changing ongoing, I guess. This portion is not lost when the battery dies. Yeah, the UEFI firmware is not lost when the battery dies. The battery is only keeping the things that need to be in volatile UEFI memory, which certainly consists of date and time, but what other settings are stored there? I don't think you might lose your drive type, because I've seen we have to go back and fix that sometimes. And the BIOS updates, when we get an update, at least through Windows, it often refers to firmware. Not sure if it often uses the word BIOS or not. I mean, that seems like BIOS is often used kind of, what, loosely? Commendator, right? I don't think it's Commodore. It's Commendator 2516. Hello, dear sir. I'm about to buy the HP 20 AIO all-in-one, 27-inch, and I'm wondering about its reliability. It seems you know a thing or two about those things. Is it safe to buy one? And he's responding to that HP video from, a couple years ago. It still is turning in a fair amount of comments, fair amount of views. So Commendator, I'm not going to consider myself an expert on them because I don't order a lot of those for my clients. I have ordered those from time to time for my clients. Is it safe to buy them? Well, yes, it's safe to buy them. A lot of people in this community will say, no, don't do it. Don't buy that. And they'll list off reasons why. Well, there's advantages and disadvantages to every kind of computer out there. Every make and model has advantages and disadvantages. If it suits your needs, then yeah, it's safe to buy it. Does that mean it's not going to fail on you? No, absolutely not. Any computer, I don't care who the manufacturer is, can fail. You can have problems with it. So buying a particular maker model, no matter what somebody else's experience is not going to have any determining factor on your experience with the computer. So I'm very, very reluctant and dislike it when people say, no, don't buy that. It's a piece of junk because it went bad on me. Well, you're just one very, very small statistic, whoever is saying that. The majority of people who purchase any make model computer are probably going to have a fine experience. The percentages of computers that become a problem with any maker model has got to be fairly small, or that company's out of business. If you're buying it new, you got a warranty to cover you, so that makes it safe. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of an all-in-one computer? That's what you need to consider, Commendator. So the advantages. Well, there's less wires and cables. There's less boxes at your desk. You can unplug it and move it from one desk to another if you relocate in your environment. You could even transport it. We could call it a transportable computer. You may find it convenient to just have all of the connections, buttons and such on one screen. If that fits your desk environment, you may want it for that reason. The downside is they're more difficult to repair. To open them up is more difficult than opening a tower computer. They could be more difficult or less difficult than a laptop, depending upon which laptop you have. The client's laptop that I have down there, which was a Lenovo, I replaced the swollen battery in it yesterday. This was that swollen battery. I showed you how swollen, how malformed the computer was. Well, that's the battery after having removed it. All that pillow light there, that is swollen. And this is the third laptop that I've replaced batteries for them. And every one of them, the screw in the middle of the bottom cover was damaged to where I can't screw it back in because it actually pulls the socket that it screws into. It pulls it out of its sleeve where it's held. But that computer was very easy. It was 6 screws, all visible, nothing covered by rubber feet. There was no tabs. There was none of those plastic tabs that you have to use a spudge tool to pry them open. It comes off very easily. Get straight to the screws for the battery and remove the screws. The only thing that was difficult is the battery connector to the motherboard. It was kind of difficult to remove and to get it back on. But anyway, and some all-in-ones are also easy to disassemble. Not all of them. So if you are in an environment where you're likely going to want to replace a drive in the future or upgrade the memory, something like that, then you want to consider how difficult is it to open them up. You could go search YouTube videos for the model that you're buying to see what it's like to do that. What else with all-in-one computers basically use components that are similar to or same as laptop computers. You're not going to be able to get them quite as powerful as a desktop computer. If you're going to a high-end performance computer, you can still get pretty good performance out of all-in-ones. So it has to do with what are your reasons for being interested in an all-in-one. Now, if you want to reply back, Commendator, and give us more information, we can have more discussion with you about it. I'll be sending a reply to Commendator with the timestamp in this video of where we had this conversation. Now, I think I have covered everything I had lined up for today, so I'm going to go to the chat room. Pop out chat. Look over on this computer to the end of the chat room. And there was no messages there that you're yelling at me about any kind of problem with the stream. Jeff Ryman starting 11:43 p.m. last night, my time. Good evening and good future morning. I have an appointment at 9:30 a.m. assuming, so I will watch later. Ken Stout says, cool intro, by the way. I would have had Ken the Stout floating down the stream, though. Robert says, missed Fortnite stream this morning as doctor appointment Monday afternoon. And Ken Stout says, Fortnite was pretty good. Ken was watching us on Fortnite this morning. Robert says, Ken. Alice says, great trip. Now, she's also referring to the intro or the premiere. No, it's trailer this morning. I can actually play this trailer on stream because it didn't have any copyrighted music, and I was thinking of asking you guys what music should I include on it. So it was showing one of my trips and going up to these falls here. I'll go put that link into chat if somebody missed it and wants to go see it, or if somebody's watching the video after the fact and wants to go see it. I think that's an unlisted video. Today's trailer. Now, do that again. I didn't put the link in. Today's trailer, and then Control V paste. I did on this part here where I had one of the Dougs floating down, not floating down. Now, I have the editing skills to where I could have made that more like he's actually floating down the river and getting smaller as it goes down. But I just decided, no, these trailers, I want to do them quick and dirty. Get them done with and not spend too much time on them. So, and I think I'll be including more of my trips up to the mountains. Another great trip. Good mornings. John Williams, very nice trailer, Doug. Hope you're having a great Friday. Hello to everyone in chat. I had some computer troubles this morning. Good mornings between peoples. Let's see. Great. John Williams, even though my internet speed is very fast, why during a live show, a sporting event, does it buffer? 569 megabits per second download, 22 upload. If you're getting buffering for watching videos during a live show, it may not be your internet issue at all. It could be something going on with your computer, but probably not. It's more likely something going on with the pipeline from YouTube to you. I broadcast my live streams on ultra low latency, so there could be issues coming anywhere between my computer and your computer. Some things that you could do for it is change. Let's get back to here. If you go to the gear icon and change the quality to lower quality, see if that stops your buffering from happening. Refresh the page, even at the high resolution, see if that fixes the buffering. Right-click on the taskbar in the blank area and get into Task Manager and take a look at your network performance. And here you're looking at send receive. Those numbers are going to vary a lot, but you can see the receive. I'm receiving the show right now. and the numbers are way lower than your speed test needs at all. Another thing to look at is right-click in the video itself and choose Stats for Nerds. This is probably going to be the most informative to you. Takes a little while of practicing this and watching these numbers during a stream that's not buffering to see how it should look. But look at this buffer health line. It should be that white line down low, I think is the right thing. When you start getting buffering, you'll see a different behavior in this area here where that white line starts increasing, indicating an increasing or decreasing. Maybe the blue goes down. The network activity, these little splashes of green in here is when network activity is happening. Notice when the playhead is in the black area, over here it says 0. When the playhead hits a green area, then you're seeing some download. So you can see actually how much data is downloading at any one of those moments. It's very, very little. It's got nothing to do with your internet speed, most likely. Your connection speed up here, this is showing your connection speed. So this is showing me 13 megabits per second. So that is what my connection to YouTube, I think. So your connection between YouTube servers and you, it could be that YouTube servers in your region are having a problem. So studying these numbers more than I have is going to help you understand that. Live latency, this is at 0 seconds. So this is showing that I have 0 latency. It's just instantaneous. When the video comes to me, it's showing. If there's a delay, I think that you're going to see numbers there. So see if that helps you, John Williams. Little Doug is having too much from Lenadro floating down the river, the stream there. Waterfall. Brian Lightfoot, I've decided to quit my job as a personal trainer because the weights are too heavy. I just handed my in my 2-week notice. My notice was 2 weeks. The weights are too heavy. Get it? Get it, Doug? Doug, do you get it? Dennis, I'll be live here after I get coffee. I think he means he'll be caught up with our live stream. Alice, hi to Ken. My button isn't letting me tag anyone. So Alice, this was at 8:59 before the stream began. If you are, let's see, if you are trying to tag someone like Jeff Ryman, see, he wasn't here. He was last here yesterday. So if I try hello and then @ symbol and then try Jeff Ryman, it won't let me tag him because the chat room has forgotten him. It was too long ago. So if that's what you had going on, Alice, it could be that you were trying to tag someone that didn't have a recent chat message. So at 8:59, if you were trying to tag Ken, probably Ken. See, at 8:59, Ken's most recent comment was at 8:42, and that is long enough for the chat room to have forgotten about Ken. Forget about it. So that's probably what was happening there, Alice. No, only 2 weeks for that notice. Greetings all, 70 degrees from Selden Ball. Darn keyboard. Internet speed question. It's strained, don't know the issue. Do you think my answer was the correct issue? Ken Stout live. I'm guessing this is his show. Yeah. He didn't explain what link he was putting in. Yay, I'm so happy you're loved, Doug. Yay, I'm so happy you're loved, Doug. I don't know what that means. Sam Lazar, but thank you. Good morning to you as well, Lon Doug. Yeah, Doug, it's been a long time since I've used live Linux disk and booted to it. And while running the Linux operating system, chose to install permanently. I can't remember if it deletes Windows. I would hope that it would give you a choice. Of course, if you don't have enough unused space on your drive, then it might assume, do you want to overwrite this other operating system? I don't know if Linux can bring itself to say, do you want to overwrite Windows? Maybe it has an allergic reaction to using the word Windows, and Linux says, do you want to overwrite that other operating system? Brian de Wintermute, back up to normal. Must have been a Spectrum temporary thing. Thanks for asking, Alex. Dennis with love. Lawn Dog, I pretty much switched to using virtual machines for Linux. Ken DeBryan, my internet speed is slightly above the 15,000 trillion that I pay for, and I've not lost power in 358 days, 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 13 milliseconds. Also, Windows 11, my machine has plenty of power to run virtual machines. I don't even use half of the CPU's capabilities. If the majority of the 300 gigabytes is upload, his ISP may think he is trying to run a server. Cox Cable once warned me, but didn't throttle me. And I'm not certain that he was accurate about whether he's being throttled or if he was just seeing something that he deduced as being throttled. Because, see, I was imagining that he was, and I don't know this because he didn't say, I was imagining that he might have been downloading a file and it wasn't downloading that fast. And so he was thinking that's throttling, but no, that has to do with the machine that you're downloading from. They're not all going to let you use maximum bandwidth because that utilizes their equipment too. Hello, Josh. Dennis, yes, you can assign a drive letter and disk part, so commands like bcd edit can be used. Interesting. Tim says, yo, what's up, everyone? Doug in chat. I love your shirt. I didn't have a personal channel. What do you post on there? I didn't know that. Your first channel, whatever your first channel is on YouTube, that is your personal channel, even if you don't think of that as your personal channel. If that's your only channel, it is your personal channel. The only way you have other channels is let's go over here to the YouTube studio. Let's see, where do we get this? Switch account. And then down here you can add, no, that's not it. Not add account. It is in, where do we add another channel? Channel, basic info. I'm not sure if I'm going to find this quick enough. This was settings. I don't think it's customization. Maybe I was right about that. View channel, descriptions, add language. Let's go back over here. Switch account, add account, sign into YouTube. I think you've got to go into your Google account and create a brand account. Something along those lines. But your first, if you only have one YouTube channel, that is your personal account. So for me, it started out with that DougBetts. And then I added this brand account and this brand account and this brand account. This one is my brother's account that I am a co-creator on or something like that. Dennis, that's a live show for Ken's show. Ken's Da Vinci. Greg Guy's taking a nap. He needs his beauty sleep. It's going to be live, unrehearsed, not scripted, unlike my shows, which are rehearsed and scripted. Ken, oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. Ken, do not forget 35 plus years. He seems confused, doesn't know what he's doing. LOL. Greg Guy better be up by now. How do you test new backup software restoration? Spare PC, virtual PC, playing with Veeam Agent for Microsoft. Okay, Veeam Agent was a backup software that Danielle is experimenting with. So she's asking, how do you test a new restore? The safest way is remove your current drive and put in another drive in that computer, or go to another computer and restore it. If you restore an image backup to another computer, it might not function properly on that computer because it's different hardware. But all you're concerned about, does the restore operation work? And when you turn on validation or verification or whatever the verbiage is in Veeam to validate that the restore did work correctly, you turn that on. If that works correctly, then that is a sufficient test. The other computer doesn't have to be functional. If you do your test restore by restoring to your same computer with the same hard drive, now you're at risk. What if something does go wrong and now you can't get a valid restore? You are very nervous. You're very upset with that. So, yeah, if you don't have the resources at hand to test a full image restore safely, then a little bit risk. Now, what you could do is try restoring just individual insignificant files from that backup. If that works, well, that gives you a higher level of confidence that the backup is valid. If you can just restore individual files that you're not really worried about. Anything else to say on that topic, Doug? All I'm thinking, Doug. Let's see, where was that? Yeah, here. All right, did Daniel give me a response to that right away? Nope, don't see it yet. Yeah, that's right. Has anyone else noticed that the elevator is not working today? The elevator's working. When I switch back to here, it takes a moment for the elevator to come up over on the right side of the screen. But when I stay on this, it only goes twice. After twice, it stops because, well, it's what is it? Union rules. Union rules. The elevator Doug that's operating in the background, the one that's actually pulling the chain to bring the elevator down, he's got a union contract. After 2 runs, he's on break. Londog, there's another great wallpaper for today's Microsoft Bing. The picture looks excellent on my TV monitor hooked to my computer. Kind of makes you feel woozy looking down. Yes, I noticed that. Another outdoors. Here we go. Yeah, this is where you're standing on that glass platform, right? Where is the cameraman right now? It could be a drone, or it could be one of those glass platforms. You'd have to go get more information about this. Come down here to the Bing icon. Avatar Mountains. Oh, it's just an avatar up there. They've got an avatar. They just throw the avatar out over the pit, and he takes a picture. There's an amazing aerial. Does it tell us more about it? Avatar Mountains, these stunning stone spines rising from Chinese Hunan province, said to have inspired part of a spectacular, stunning stones rising. I'm just glancing through here, trying to understand how they took the picture. Southern Sky Pillar, with the 44-foot high Southern Sky Pillar was officially named as Avatar Hallelujah Mountain. Yeah, I don't see there how they took the picture. Okay, moving on. Today's trader rolling on the river. Today's trader link. The Great Escape theme should be used. Oh, Great Escape theme for that video of Doug going down the waterfall. Great Escape theme. I don't know what the theme is off my. I'll go check it out later. Let's go do this. Great Escape theme. Oh, it's time. It's about time for me to get out of here. So, buffering as well. Sporting event through Spectrum Charter Internet. That's where he was having buffering, I think. If it was a live event, it could have been a problem going on their end. Richard Rogers commented 1200 by time 1224. I was still able to tag him. It's not YouTube's not consistent. So Ken saying 24 minutes, he was still able to tag somebody. And that was after the show was running. The delay might be different. It will overwrite Windows if you choose to do so, and the Windows activation for that will be removed as well. Wow, really? Are you thinking about old days when activation was locally stored on your computer? Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation is electronic, or it's digital, it's virtual. Your hardware is the same. If you reinstall Windows, it should automatically activate. You shouldn't lose your Windows activation if you overwrite the Windows partition with Linux. Expect to use a drone to take the picture. Glass bridge is pretty much in China. And the one we have here in the United States, I believe it's Nevada, could be Arizona, can't remember. Grand Canyon West on Skywalker. Yeah, one of my brothers went to one. Actually, two of my brothers went to them within the last year in separate instances. I'm going to go ahead and shut down so that Ken Stout can start his show on time, because he will beat me severely if I go into overtime. No. Here's my email address if you want to send a question for me to respond to during a live show. Tomorrow's show, this 2-hour-long show at the usual time on Saturday. And have a great Friday, everybody. Goodbye.